in a name. That which we call a rose by any other name would smell just as sweet. You might know this line. Juliet is questioning the importance of a name in one of the most famous plays of all time. Now, Shakespeare wrote this line in the 1590s when trademarks were rare, like super rare. Today, trademark symbols, a little TM after something, or the registered trademark, little R in a circle, are on almost everything, and they make sure the names of things are very important. Trademarks are legally a form of property, like the home that you live in, right? That's a property. Trademarks are a property, and the owner has certain property rights, including the right to exclusive use of their mark about the products or service for which it is registered. From trademarks like certified financial planner, like you see in the background on our videos, if you're watching on YouTube, thank you, to names of financial companies and products, there's lots to a name. And that's one reason why I became an official CFP, because I knew that having that to my name would mean something for the people I work with.
Now, this is very important about Bank on Yourself. At its essence, Bank on Yourself is a trademark. In this video, we're going to reveal who owns the trademark and, more importantly, how that makes the entire concept a very sweet-smelling rose on this stage we call our financial journey.
Hello, and welcome to the Wealth Wisdom Financial Podcast, where we believe when conventional financial thinking doesn't get you where you want to go, you need wealth wisdom. Thank you so much for being here. Make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss an episode. And if you're watching on YouTube, please give us a like and a comment below, help out the algorithm, as well as let us know you're watching. We'd love to hear from you.
Yeah, it helps educate other people too, right? Now, we've got a lot to cover today, so let's jump right in, Amanda.
Yeah, I'm going to cover the most basic, legally kind of stuff, and then we're going to tell a big story. So yep. Bank on Yourself was founded by a woman named Pamela Yellen, and the Bank on Yourself is a registered trademark that is owned by the Hayward Yellen 100 Ltd partnership. That partnership maintains the website bankonyourself.com. They also describe Bank on Yourself very clearly on their website as, quote, a safe wealth building method to achieve lifelong financial security, end quote.
And here's a copy of the book that she wrote, and we'll probably put it up here.
One of them.
Yeah, we'll put it up here and again in a second. But there's a book to it and all kinds of stuff. Now, what we want to share with you today is what Bank on Yourself means to us as people who started as Bank on Yourself clients in 2013, and then became Bank on Yourself professionals in 2018. It was a kind of a weird thing to move from coffee to this, right? This video has not been reviewed or approved by Pamela or anyone else at Bank on Yourself. And what you're about to hear is our authentic thoughts and feelings about the Bank on Yourself concept and what it means to us as somebody who has been, the hair club for men kind of thing. Not only been clients, we've been users, right?
No, sort of. Okay. But to us, the essence of it is that Bank on Yourself represents a powerful way of thinking, being, and doing that have totally transformed our lives for the better. So that's what we're going to talk about today, how Bank on Yourself has helped us transform our thinking, transform what we do, as well as become different than we were before learning about the concept. Take us back to before.
Yeah, before learning about Bank on Yourself, we were your typical Americans. We had a small account in our savings and an emergency fund, right? Lots of debts and a few little retirement accounts, because that's what you do. You do the company match and hope that it's going to work out. And it didn't amount to much of anything. We didn't know there were any other ways. We just did what everyone told us we were supposed to do. Our parents also didn't teach us much about how money worked or how to build wealth. Actually, you taught them how on your side, right? We have some videos on that. None of our friends also talked about money much either. We were in the church world, so we would avoid that part of the conversation. I mean, we learned to tithe and to be spiritually responsible, but not much else when it came to money. It was just, put it in the market and hope for the best.
Now, I went to the University of Chicago for goodness sakes, and yet there was still no courses about finances and how to make them work, at least not when I went there. So we just had to find our own way to learn about money. My go-to was actually Suze Orman. Someone had given us one of her books as a wedding gift, and I referenced it every single time I needed to make a financial decision.
That's where I learned a lot about your highlighting capabilities.
That's true. That book was tore up by the time we donated it or recycled it. I don't even remember what we did with that book. But fast forward to 2013, when we first heard about Banking Yourself, I got angry. Like, I was furious that no one had ever told us about this before. I started research. I learned more. We worked with a Banking Yourself professional. I had to learn more about what this thing was and why I had never heard about it.
Now, truth be told, our mentor and guide in this concept did try and talk to us a little bit, but it took us about 6 months, even though we had heard about it a little bit before we started our first policies. We had to figure it out for ourselves. And then we started one for each of us, and that was a big deal because we were, struggling coffee shop owners, and we weren't making that much. It was a total mindset shift, but one that we realized we'd always been looking for and something that really changed our life.
Yeah. So we started these policies and then we get to the real work. We'd had the mindset shift, but then we had to do the things. Within a year, we started seriously tracking our cash flow. Banking Yourself turned out to be the kick in the pants we needed to control all of our money, not just what was going into our policies, right? We had that mindset shift of self-control, self-determination.
Yep.
So then we had to apply that to all of our money, not just our premiums. And so we got to work doing that.
Then budgeting showed us to focus on growing our income rather than shrinking our expenses. Again, kind of the, Dave Ramsey thing of shrinking our expenses. Some of that's important, but we saw that we need to grow our income. We realized we couldn't shrink our way to wealth. Now, that's an important thing to realize and come to learn, especially in our age.
Yeah, and about 2.5 years in, we paid off all of our debt using a policy loan. We were finally better than debt-free.
Now, over the years, we transformed a business from a cash-eating monster to a sellable asset because of those moves that we made. We're also able to take a policy loan to go on a once-in-a-lifetime adventure overseas. That was something huge that we never thought was possible. Then we used our policy to buy our first home. And more recently, Banking Yourself has helped us grow a new business and diversify our income by becoming real estate investors. Yes, we are now real estate investors too. The initial mindset shift and then the doing of financially responsible actions has transformed who we are today. We are healthier and more generous people as Banking Yourself revolutionaries than we were before. And I think it was, again, because of putting those foundational pieces in place.
Yeah, it's not like we were bad people before. We feel like we're better. We're more healthy in all different ways. Now, in the 5 years from 2013 to 2018, when we were just clients before we became official professionals, we referred so many people to our Banking Yourself professional, including my mom.
Yep.
And we can tell you a lot of them found the same thing we did, this concept that transformed their thinking, their doing, and their being so that they could have a smarter, more stable financial future.
Now, remember that business that went from a cash-eating monster to a sellable asset? Once we sold it, we thought, well, what are we going to do now? I mean, really, we didn't know what to do. We couldn't go back to a cubicle or to work for anyone else. I mean, I'm not employable anymore, at least in that regard.
I would never employ him.
Yeah. So it was really hard. And there was some, maybe go get a job, that kind of stuff. So like the best entrepreneurs, we asked, what's benefited us the most that we could share with others? And Banking Yourself was the answer. Had we known that there was so many opinions and things about it and people, the foundational asset was, a challenge sometimes, maybe we would have chosen a different path. However, it has changed our life and changed so many other people's lives. Now, the process to become a Banking Yourself professional is rigorous. There's a lot of training. They do background checks and reference reviews, of course, but there's all kinds of other things that we go through and learn and continue to go through and learn. It hasn't been easy to be in a business where there's so much working against us, including, again, media and Wall Street and all of this stuff. But we know we can look back on March 2020 as a case study of what it really means to be a bank and yourself professional. I don't know if you guys remember that date, but I do.
Yeah, this is the good stuff. If you've kind of been trailing off and listening, come back. You remember March 2020, don't you? The world is shut down. We were all told stay home. You may or may not remember, though, that the stock market had its worst 3 days since 1929.
People were scared.
Totally scared. We didn't know what other types of financial professionals were doing. We just knew what we were doing. We were getting in touch with our clients to see how are they doing. Let them know that their funds are the same today as they were last week, and we're continuing to grow in the same predictable ways that we knew they would. On top of that, we got to ask them if they needed to use their policies for anything, maybe to cover a loss in pay or a loss in revenue, maybe to pay their employees so that they could still, have a business when everything reopened, or maybe even to take advantage of the stock market lows. It was the most rewarding experience.
Yep.
The world was so uncertain then, but the work we had done for our clients with them, not just for them, but with them, brought them so much certainty and opportunity. We found light in the midst of a dark time. And that proved to us, hey, what we've been spending our lives on for, 7 years at that point is totally worth it.
Yeah. And it just continues to show as I help more and more clients and as we serve, it's just amazing. That's why we say banking yourself is a way of thinking, being, and doing. It's a mindset of self-control, self-determination, and thinking differently about money. It's being mentally healthy and more generous. It's doing financial matters in a way that brings a true sense of peace, no matter what's happening in the stock market. The three things are thinking, being, and doing. They mutually reinforce each other, right? That's a really powerful concept there.
Now, there are a lot of particulars about how banking yourself works and details that you'll discover along the way as you learn more about the concept, as you watch more of our videos, as maybe you read Pamela's books.
Yeah, here's the book again. Don't forget, check it out.
And then especially as you start working with a bank and yourself professional like us, we want you to be aware of this big picture and never lose sight of this invitation to transform how you think, what you do, and who you are.
Today, millions of Americans are embracing the bank and yourself revolution. They each have their own reasons why and what it allows them to do. We hope you keep an open mind and always remember there's an invitation to discover a new mindset, a new way of being, and then getting into what you might do differently in order to create the future that you want. Thinking, being, and doing are, again, part of banking yourself.
Yeah. So let's go back to that trademark thing that we talked about at the top of the episode. There are a lot of lookalikes and knockoffs to Bank on Yourself. Other people claim to do what Bank on Yourself does, but we have to emphasize they aren't always trained like we are. And we've never met someone with the accountability that we experience as Bank on Yourself professionals to make sure we're always doing right by our clients and creating the policies and the way of doing the bank on yourself concept that is the best fit for them.
Now, we are forever grateful that we met and worked with an official bank on yourself professional. As you heard in our story, the policy worked just like we wanted it to. I mean, it's literally, we can go back and prove it and show it, right? We didn't lose some of the best advantages because it was designed or implemented wrong. And again, I've seen that too many times.
Not with Bank on Yourself, but with the lookalikes and the knockoffs. Yeah.
Yep. It's our financial future at stake here, right? And that's why it's so important to us. We want the best brand name people to work with us, and that's why we chose that.
So that's what the trademark helps protect and why we decided to align ourselves with Bank on Yourself rather than a knockoff or a lookalike. Pamela and her team have done a tremendous job protecting that registered trademark, Bank on Yourself, with a little R after it. So you know exactly what you're getting when you work with a true Bank on Yourself professional.
Now, if you're eager to find out more and confirm if Banking Yourself is right for you, we have 2 links in the show notes. One goes to the bankingyourself.com website. So you can read in her own words, in Pamela's own words, the questions. What is Banking Yourself? The other goes to a page where you can get a safe wealth building guide and a free chapter of another book she wrote, Rescue Your Retirement. And then that's this book here, Rescue Your Retirement. So you can get that chapter, part of this book here, for free.
Now, this episode is just the intro. In order to find out if Bank on Yourself will give you a new way of thinking, being, and doing on your financial journey, we want you to click the links in the show notes, continue to learn, maybe get one of Pamela's books, read those, but also start the process of connecting with a Bank on Yourself professional today. We've got a link to our website if you want to jump in and talk more with us as well.
Yeah, if you want to get one of those books from us and also chat, do an intro call, just go to wealthwisdomfp.com/call. We'd be happy just mention in the intro that you would like a copy of the book and we'll send it to you, right? So thanks for joining us. Don't forget, hit that subscribe button and live long and profit. Now, the topics presented in this podcast are for general information only and not for the purpose of providing legal, accounting, or investment advice. On such matters, please consult a professional who knows your specific situation and somebody who is trademarked in the things that you want.